Hey guys, so I just realized that I have not filmed any sort of pregnancy update since the first trimester update. So I figured it was about time. I am just about 30 weeks now. I think I turned 30 weeks in like 2 days. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a 30-week update. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so I am 30 weeks and I'm totally feeling it. This has been my pregnancy that any symptom that I didn't really have with the other pregnancies, I totally just that like exhaustion, or when people say they're like waddling, all that kind of stuff. I never felt that with the other kids. This time it's like I'm like making up for skipping out on that with all of my other pregnancies, so I'm totally feeling it this go around. I'm gonna be looking up here because I wrote what I wanted to say up here on our little whiteboard. Let's see, symptoms. Oh, I need to look up exactly what it's called. I think it's called symphysis pubis or pubis symphysis or something like that. I have gotten that with all of my pregnancies. Usually somewhere around like 34 to 36 weeks. So it has only lasted for me for a couple of weeks with each pregnancy. And by the time that I start to feel that, I usually, I'm already slowing down anyway because I'm 34, 35 weeks pregnant and getting tired. This time that hit at 18 weeks. And so this has been a little bit of a struggle because it's totally messed up my workout game and just my ability to be as active as I usually am. I just, we live in Florida. I love to be outside with my kids, and we are just like generally active family. And so that has thrown a big wrench in that, which has been a little hard for me. So it's been different and kind of difficult to have to deal with that from an earlier stage this time. I mean, even if I do too much housework in the evening, I'll wake up the next day and I'll be like in a serious amount of pain. So that's definitely been difficult. That slowed me down when I'm like my husband and I went to Target the other night and I was just like, I cannot walk, it hurts so bad. So that's been a little bit annoying. Other than that though, she's sitting pretty low, much lower than my other, well, at least than my boys did. I really can't honestly remember how my daughter was 8 years ago, but so she's sitting pretty low, so I haven't had any heartburn or nausea or anything like that, but I think that's probably the reason why my hips have been separating a little earlier than usual. And then I had just generally been exhausted from the beginning of the second trimester on, but I really felt it at Christmas time. And of course I just assumed that since it was Christmas season and my husband's a UPS guy and we were just running around crazy, that was why I was so tired. So then a few days after Christmas, I went to lunch with my mom and I was like, all of a sudden I just felt like a ghost. I've been feeling like a ghost. And I was just like, Mom, I cannot finish this lunch. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Could you please drive behind me on the way home? Because I am just feeling like I could seriously pass out in the car. Like, it was the most bizarre feeling. So we did, and then I thought, okay, well, I don't know, this might sound crazy, but I don't eat a lot of like meat during the day, so I just assumed that since I had meat with my lunch that day, that it had just totally made me exhausted for some reason, or fried, maybe, I think it was fried chicken that was like a sandwich that was fried or something. And so I was like, man, I can't eat junk food, that really messes with me. Well, then every day, so that was about noon, then every day after that, well before noon, I was feeling completely exhausted, and I would wake up, say I wake up at 7:30 that day, and by 10 I needed a nap and I hadn't even done anything, and that's difficult when you're raising 3 little ones at the house. And so I mentioned it to my midwife at my appointment, and it was time for me to do my like some blood work. And she called me the very next day and was like, you are very anemic. And so I've never experienced anemia with any pregnancy or just in general, but I know that it does run in my family. I just assumed maybe I had skipped out on that. So she put me on an iron supplement. Like I said, I don't eat a ton of meat, so I have been trying to stomach it, but it really totally freaks me out. So I've added extra greens to my smoothie. I've added, you know, the iron supplement into my diet, so hopefully that'll help. I definitely feel a ton more energy now than I did even just a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, I would say within 2 days, I was already starting to feel a little more energy. And I'm a little bummed out, you know, that I didn't mention it sooner, because I feel like maybe that was one of the reasons I had just been so tired for so long, that my second trimester could have maybe been a little smoother had I not, you know, had I been on top of that anemia sooner. So I'm thankful that we found out, though, a few weeks before I'm due, because I know, you know, if you're anemic, that can really cause a lot of issues during, you know, the postpartum when you're delivering the placenta and all that. So I'm thankful that that has been dealt with. My appointments are now every 2 weeks, which is really scary to me, because when she mentioned that the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, every 2 weeks. That's just like, that's the countdown. I have never with any of my kids made it to the point where I have an appointment every week. Usually when I skip to that 1 week appointment, I've always had the baby before I get to the next week. So this is like the final stretch for me, it feels like, for sure. So that's crazy. My next visit with her, with my midwife, will actually be a home visit. She'll come to my house. I will make an update video after that, just to kind of tell you guys what that was like, because that's a new experience for me. My appointments are still an hour long. We sit there and we chit chat. There are no internal exams throughout your entire pregnancy, as long as you're caught up on like your annual test. And so I haven't had any internal exams. I won't have any internal exams. When she does the Group B strep test, I do that myself at her office. I just hop into the bathroom and do that. And so it is just very relaxing and easygoing. And so, yeah, so every 2 weeks I get to sit on her couch and chit chat with her, and I have really, really enjoyed that. If this might sound, if you haven't watched my last video, I'll link it up there, but we are doing a home birth this time, and we have done hospital births with the same doctor for my last 3 pregnancies, and so this we switched to my midwife, who I really, really love, and so she's just very chill, very low-key, so she will be coming to my house for my next visit. Let's see here. Weight gain. I have gained so much more than I usually do with this pregnancy. So far, I've gained 15 pounds, and that might not sound like a lot, but I am a pound packer honor in the 3rd trimester. All of my other pregnancies, I might have gained 5 pounds by now. I've gained 15, and that is not gonna slow down anytime soon. That is, I mean, my 3rd trimester is usually like, they say like, you know, you gain 1 to 2 pounds a week. I'm usually right about the 2 pounds a week, so, oh well. And it actually feels like way more than 15 pounds because of just where the weight is falling on me, so that's been frustrating, but oh well. It's one of those things where if I hadn't found out that I was having a girl this time, I probably would have known, just because of how different everything is kind of going this go around. So, oh well, hopefully that extra weight gain will help with my nursing. Let's see. So, let's see, what is that? Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so even though I've gained more weight, I'm measuring smaller than I did with my other pregnancies. With all of my other pregnancies, I always measured about 3 weeks ahead. And my babies were all born, they were born 37 weeks, 36 weeks, and 37 weeks. And so, and they were all at 37 weeks or 36 weeks for my one, 8 pounds, 8 pounds, and 8 pounds, 9 ounces. So they were definitely measuring larger because they were bigger. So had they been born at 40 weeks, which is full term, I probably would have had like 10-pound babies. So I was definitely thankful that they all came in a little early. But this time, she is measuring exactly where she should be. When I was at 28 weeks, she was measuring it, or I was measuring at 28 weeks. When I'm, you know, at 30 weeks, measuring at 30 weeks. And so I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if that means that maybe I won't go as early because she won't be so big, or maybe she, you know, maybe she's gonna be smaller than my other kids were. I don't know what it would be like to have a baby in the average, you know, 7-pound size. I think they would look incredibly tiny to me because I've always had just like big fat babies. So we'll see. I'm kind of anxious to hear how that goes. So even though I'm measuring where I should, my midwife still wants me to be ready at 36 weeks just because I do have a history of delivering early. And so, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I have a feeling I might go past 37 weeks just because she's not measuring so large, but I could be fooled and she could show up at 36 weeks, so I need to be prepared. Especially because it's a home birth and especially because my labors have all been very, very, very fast. So I need to be ready at 36 weeks. Okie dokie. So then as far as the home birth goes, we have ordered the tub from my midwife. I picked that up at 35 weeks. It's just, you know, the birth pool, and it has a hose we connect to our shower head, and it should fill up within 45 minutes to an hour. It's the whole deal where you turn your hot water heater sensor thing off, and this is all like my husband's territory because I'm not going to be doing this myself, but you turn off like the thing that limits how hot your water can get. You basically just like drain your hot water heater on this super hot setting into the tub, and then it'll kick in with cold water and even out. So we get that at 35 weeks, and he has to do like a quick test run of that just to make sure, you know, he knows how to do that. He's comfortable setting it up and everything. I still have to order my birth kit. I think I mentioned in my last video that my two best friends were also pregnant. They have both had their babies, one November 30th and one January 4th. And so the one who just had her baby in January, her labor and delivery was very, very quick. She did not use much of anything in her birth kit, so she just gave me everything that was unused. And so I have to go through that and see. I won't be ordering a full birth kit. I'm going to be going through and picking and choosing what has not been, what she used in hers. So that's nice because it'll save me a little bit of money, which is also nice because our home birth ended up to be more expensive than we initially anticipated. Our insurance covers 70%, so we were expecting a number around $2,000 that we were going to be paying, but they cover 70% of what they believe a home birth should cost, and so that left us with about an additional $1,500 to pay, which is fine because this is what we want to do. We still have the option to switch to the hospital, but it'll be nice to save, a little bit here and there. So I have to order the birth kit. I'm working on things, I'm just trying to imagine what a home birth is going to be like, considering that all of my last 3 births were in the hospital. So I'm trying to think, what music will really be relaxing when I'm here at the house. What sort of positive encouragement do I want to hang on the wall to see when I'm in the tub, things like that. So if you guys have any suggestions for any of that kind of stuff, please comment below. Any sort of like positive, things to repeat in my head, Bible verses. I started a little Pinterest board of some positive, each wave brings you closer to the shore kind of things. I'm very like, I said we live in Florida. I'm very like, I love the beach and the coast, and so all those sort of like beachy type of things really resonate with me. So if you have any suggestions, please comment below. Other than that, I really need to get serious about the fact that this baby could be here in 6 weeks. I doubt it will be 6 weeks, or maybe it's 7 weeks, but I need to we still have to buy a crib, but you know how that goes. You don't need a crib right away anyway. I probably need to invest in some more newborn things than I have because, like I said, she could actually fit into newborn size clothing, which I had never used before. We have cloth diapers, but we'll start using that about when she'll be in a size 2, so I need to get some newborn and size 1 type of things. And then what I'm doing right now is just every week when I make my meal plan, which I just made when I'm sitting here, each week I've been doubling one of the meals and making a freezer meal out of it so that first initial week we won't be like slammed with visitors, and we'll have some freezer meals. Plus my midwife told me to have at least one really high protein meal frozen and ready for after birth so that you can have it could just be eggs, but she said, oh, you could make a really good lasagna or some meatballs and just have that ready and available for after you deliver. So like this week I'm freezing some vegan chili, next week I'm freezing some lasagna, the week after I'm freezing some chicken teriyaki, so just something that I'm already cooking that I can just double and stick in the freezer. Let's see. Okay, so I guess I'll move on to my kids, how they're kind of handling all of this. So my other two kids were only 2 when they became a big brother and a big sister. My youngest, Eli, he is going to be 3.5 when this baby is born. So I really wasn't sure, would that be better or worse to bring a new baby in when he's been the baby for 3.5 years? But it has been so amazing. It's so neat to see that he actually understands what's going on. It's been kind of cool. It's been really, really exciting. He comes every morning. My husband can totally, you know, say that this is true. He comes in every morning and rubs my belly and talks to her, and he knows her name, so he, you know, says her name, and he's like, I love you, and he talks to her all day long. Sometimes he'll come up and I'll hear him whispering, and if I look down at him, he'll get really quiet and still because he's embarrassed that I've caught him talking to his sister, but oh my goodness, he is in love. So what started that was when one of my girlfriends had her baby in November. He saw her and he just like was obsessed with her. And then from that point on, he's been talking to me and, you know, and saying like, oh, when she gets here, is that going to be her best friend? And are they going to play? And I want her to be here because she's here already. And so that's been really, really sweet. He'll break off little bits of his food and bring it to me and say, this is for the baby. And it's like, it's amazing. It's so, so funny. Even those like little things are, he like loves crackers when we're at restaurants. So he'll take a cracker and then he'll bite another cracker down really small and hold it up to the cracker and be like, this is you and this is the baby. So he's really connecting with it, which is really cool. But then for my big kids, this whole transition of them becoming my 2 big kids, because I think that when this baby is born, there's going to be a shift in the family as far as me seeing my older 2 as my big kids, and then Eli and this baby as like my little kids. And so I don't know. Of course, as a mom, you're always a little concerned and feel a little guilty for changing the dynamic of your family. So I'm a little, you know, I'm not sure. Are they gonna gladly accept that responsibility of kind of being a little more independent? When I had newborns in the house before, they were still, you know, 2 and 4 years old, so they were still being, you know, I was still cutting all their little food up for them and putting on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, entertaining them, and grandparents were, you know, taking them and painting with them and all that kind of stuff. And this time, I think I'm gonna probably be leaning on them more, so, you know, they're gonna be 8 and almost 6, you know, I'll probably be more like, okay, you pour your chocolate milk yourself, kind of in those initial stages. Now, the positive thing is that my husband will be taking a significant amount of time off of work to be home with us, but just, I don't know how they're gonna react to that, because I'm just assuming that there's gonna be kind of a natural shift there where they're both gonna feel like, you know, much, much older than the little kids. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so besides that, I don't know, I'm kind of just trying to soak in these last few weeks here. I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be our last baby. My husband and I are both we're both gladly, willingly accepting the door closing on a stage of life, so we'll see. But just because of that unknown, I think I'm just really trying to savor these last few weeks and even just the last few weeks of Eli being my baby, because he's been my baby for so long. I mean, he just stopped nursing in May, and so he was 2.5. So he has been my baby for a long, long time. And so I'm just trying to soak in those last few, you know, it's just that amazing, the moment you hold your newborn and then you go to hold your who was your baby before, and you're just like, you are ginormous. I don't know, I'm nervous about that moment. That's hard for me. That's hard for me to see. It's like a big shift that happens in your brain in a matter of minutes when you hold your baby and then you see who was your baby. So yeah, anyway, so I'm going to try to make another update video here in a couple of weeks. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to try to make that video a little Q&A style. So you can leave questions here on this video, or I will post a picture with a call for a Q&A on my Facebook page if you want to go ahead and follow that Facebook page to catch that. I'm not sure if it's just going to be a pregnancy Q&A or just a Q&A in general. So anyway, if you have any questions for my next update, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, oh, maybe I will show you my belly. I guess that would be appropriate. I'm not really good at doing these updates. So this is where we are. This is 31. weeks, and this is all old shoes over here that we just organized because I think you can say that I'm probably nesting at this point. Anyway, so this is the 30-week belly. I'm definitely officially in maternity clothes. There's no more, unless I use a hair tie, there's no more buttoning buttons. So thank you Target and Macy's for having some cute stuff this go around. But yep, that is where we are. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.